is Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913. Today we're going to be making what?
Tiramisu.
And that means pick-me-up in Italian.
Okay, the ingredients for tiramisu are 6 egg yolks, so we're going to be separating these.
Yep.
Marscapone cheese.
Yep.
And if you don't or can't find mascarpone, you could always substitute this with cream cheese.
Right?
This happens to be a 16-ounce container, so you'd actually need 2 bricks.
Yeah.
And that they would be softened.
And one other thing we need.
You're going to have 3 tablespoons of sugar.
Of granulated sugar, yeah.
Ladyfingers. This is a 17-ounce package.
Yeah.
These Ladyfingers are kind of like a cookie or a little. Sometimes you can get these. Happen to be hard.
Yeah.
But you can also get them in the bakery area, and they're softer, so it's more like I'm not sure how to explain it. It's really supposed to be a cookie.
Yeah.
But the ones you buy in the bakery part, they're softer.
Yeah. We'll show you what they look like when we take them out of the package.
Italian coffee.
Yeah, espresso.
Espresso. Now, if you don't have espresso or have a pot to brew it in, you can use instant espresso, or you can just use a really strong regular coffee.
And we need 1.5 cups of espresso.
1.5 cups of espresso, because that's what you soak the ladyfinger in.
Yeah.
And then you can use a couple of tablespoons,
2 tablespoons of dark rum.
Dark rum.
We're going to be using Captain Morgan's.
Some people even use a brandy.
Yeah. Now we don't have to use the the rum, but we're just showing it to show that you can use rum. You know what I mean? So let us get.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to brew my coffee. This is an Italian coffee pot.
Yeah, classic espresso maker.
What happens? This is espresso maker.
Yeah.
Is that there's water in this part in the bottom, which I've already filled, and then you have your filter.
Yeah.
And this
is where you put the espresso.
This is where you're gonna put your coffee.
Yeah.
And you pat it in, put the top on, and then you put it on your your stove.
Most people just use those Keurig things, but how that works is when it boils, the steam forces the liquid up through the coffee grinds and makes the espresso. That's how that works.
And then we'll brew this and just put it to the side.
Yeah. And I'm going to show you a quick way, because we need the espresso, but we need it cooled down. And I'm going to show you a quick tip on how to cool down real fast. So let's get started. My mom's putting this. How much coffee are you actually putting in here?
This is a 6-cup coffee.
Yeah.
But that's Italian coffee cups, the little small Demitasse cups.
Yeah.
So if you needed to make 2 pots of it, then you would do that.
But this will make 1.5 cup. This will make easily 1.5 cup. The 1.5 cups that we need. Now you can obviously make those in those Keurig cups. If you got it, I guess you could do that.
Or you can do instant coffee.
Yeah. Again, it really matters. It really is. It really. I don't know how to explain it, but you can do it any way you want. So then you just twist the top, and then we just boil the water, and when it comes out, it should be ready. And we're gonna do that while we get everything else going. So, yeah.
And we'll show you when it's done. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to separate our eggs.
Yeah, so now this is a technique that some people in cooking you should know how to do. So let's go through it.
So you crack your egg.
Yeah.
And
you want to be very careful.
Break that. Some people also take the egg and just make it go through their fingers.
Yeah.
So that you're getting.
So now we're basically just putting the whites in there. And the yolk, or what is that called?
That's the yolk.
Yeah, the yolk is going over there. So all we need is the whites of the egg, right?
No, we need the yolks.
Oh, we need.
So we're gonna switch this, but I just wanted to be able to show you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
And then the yolk.
Just to kind of go through. So what do you usually try to do? You kind of break the egg in half. And then just basically use that thing as a scoop, and just scoop it all out like that.
Yep. Or you can just take the whole egg and put it in your hand so that you have the yolk and the egg.
So let's try.
Whites.
You crack in half, because this is an important skill that people should know how to do when they're cooking. And you just take it and you pour it in there, You know, okay, I get you. So we're gonna be using the yellows, not the
white.
Not the white.
And
now, what can you do with the white?
Well, the white.
We have 6 of these.
The white, you could, if you had extras, you could actually make an angel food cake from that, because that's what angel food cake is made out of: flour, sugar, and egg whites.
Yeah.
You could use it as an egg beater.
Yeah. That's what egg beaters are, right? They're just the yellow.
They're the
white. And they color it yellow so that people don't go, oh my god, what is that?
Yeah, white egg.
Yeah. And what else was I going to mention? So yeah, this is important. Now, one thing I was going to say is you don't, like, let's say you don't want to use 6 eggs. You can always half this recipe and just make half, you know what I mean? But usually, what was I going to say? Usually, we just do the 6. It does seem like a lot, 6 eggs.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
Well, see, that does happen, so just grabbed it up.
Yeah. But yeah, so there we go. So we need, so we're going to pour the whites into a separate container.
Yeah, I'm going to save the whites.
And be careful with the eggshells. You don't want any of that in there. But yeah, so we're going to pour the the whites into a separate container and put the yolks in this bowl here.
Okay, we're going
we got the egg yolks.
These are 6
Those
of
are 6. Yep. Sorry.
Also over here, let's see here. We're going to look real quickly. It's not brewing yet, but I can hear the water starting to sizzle.
Yeah.
So that should be coming up soon.
So what we want to do here is add a sugar. That is 3 tablespoons of sugar. Like I said, if you want to half the recipe, you would obviously use 3 eggs and 1.5 tablespoons of sugar.
Now you can, if you don't have an electric mixer,
like
you can use a whisk, and you have to get it till it looks yellowy.
Yeah, basically you want it. Basically, you're gonna beat this until it's pale. So this will mix the sugar and the. Let me back it up a little, huh? It's a little loud. But yeah, you want to mix it till it's pale. They say about 5 minutes, but actually if you beat it fast enough, it'll get white and whatnot. But then after it gets pale, we're going to add the mascarpone cheese. But yeah, this is a good way to mix the sugar, and if you didn't have, you could use a whisk, you know. So we're going to beat this up, and then we'll show you what it looks like when it should be ready. Okay. Alright, so we have our Italian mix going, or coffee going, and as you can see, it's boiling up over there, so we're making some mighty fine espresso. And you definitely want to shut it off before it overflows. And it smells pretty nice.
As you can see, the mixture is creamy yellow.
Yeah, pale,
and so
as they call it. So now we're going to add the mascarpone. And then here we're going to beat it until smooth. So yeah, the mascarpone, in case you've never had it before, it's like a cream cheese. It's an Italian kind of cheese, obviously. And it's kind of a little smoother. Maybe a wee bit, can you get that poured out? Thank you. Maybe a wee bit smoother than cream cheese. Like cream cheese is a little chunky.
But I think it would work.
Yeah, it would work fine with cream cheese.
Just let the cream cheese get a little softer.
Yeah, because the mascarpone is soft, basically. It's softer than the cream cheese.
My daughter makes this recipe as well, and so what she does is she uses the cream cheese, and she adds about a half a cup or to a cup of whipped cream to it to make it a little lighter.
Yeah.
So you could always substitute.
Alright, so you want to get this nice and blended so it's real nice here. Look at that mixture, huh? Looks pretty nice. Look at that, huh? Yeah, you just want to kind of get all the lumps out and everything. And everything's kind of congealed pretty well. And once again, if you don't have at this point you'd probably want to use a spoon and until you lumped it out, and then use your whisk again in case you didn't have an electric beater. And oh yeah, a good way to, you want to show that again?
Oh, when you're beating,
yeah,
and you're getting towards the end, you're going to lower your beater,
and then slowly bring it up.
Slowly bring it up so it gets all the majority of the stuff off your beater.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a good tip.
There's still some on there, but
that's a good tip. Anyways, now what we need to do is we need to add a tablespoon of espresso to this mix. All right. As you can see here, we have ourselves a bowl of ice. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell do we have ice for? We were just going to put some espresso in the mascarpone mixture. But what we want to do, because we need our espresso cooled down quite a bit, is what we want to do is take this thing of ice and put it over here. Now my mom's going to pour the very hot espresso inside. And like I said, we need the espresso to be cooled down because we're going to be dipping our ladyfingers in there. We don't even know if that's a half. We don't even know if that's a cup and a half.
You could have a little more. Doesn't make any difference.
Anyways, with the ice on the bottom, it's going to help cool off this espresso really quick in a reasonable fashion. So what we want to do here is you can take the tablespoon. We're going to put a tablespoon of espresso as it cools down. This is a good tip to know because the ice will help, well, like I said, it'll help cool down the espresso faster so that you don't have to wait forever because we're going to be dipping the ladyfingers in. So grab that tablespoon and let's throw the...
Okay, I just want to get all of the goodness off of the mixture.
But yeah, this is a great tip. Now over here, if you want, which we're not going to do, but if you're following the recipe, you would put 2 tablespoons of rum in it. But that's before, but that is before we put it in there. So give me the damn tablespoon. Come on. I don't have all day. Sorry. So you take a tablespoon, you dip it in there like that, and now we're just going to mix it. And I can't do this while holding the camera. Ma'am, would you mind? So yeah, you just take a tablespoon and you mix it all together. Now what you want to do with this, and this is why it's called, by the way, pick-me-up in Italian, is because of the coffee that's inside the tiramisu, or inside the cream, and also it's going to be put inside the ladyfingers. So once you have that all incorporated like that, then you would come back here and you would add the 2 tablespoons of rum if you want. Like I said, we're not, but the recipe calls for it. You know, you could do it. So we're just gonna let this cool down because it's almost there. You just want to let it cool because what we're gonna have to do is dip the ladyfingers in, and then we'll show you what you gotta do. But we're gonna just let it cool down, and as you can see on the bottom here, the ice is starting to melt. So yeah, like I said, we'll just be back in a few minutes once it cools down.
And you could stir it around so that, not just the very bottom was cold.
Yeah. That's a good tip too.
To cool it down.
All right, we are gonna add the rum.
We're only adding
only add a tablespoon, but let's spice it up. Let's add a little bit of the private stock. Anyways, the espresso has cooled down quite a bit, and it only took a minute. Another tip that you could do, if you want, is you could make the espresso ahead of time, as in a few hours, or even a day. That's a tip right from my sister. Thanks a lot. So we got ourselves a 13x9 pan, because now we're going to start to open up the ladyfingers, and we're going to show you how to make this delicious dish. You got it? Anyways, let's show what... Oh, I did not know the ladyfingers would be... Oh, they're not individually wrapped. Anyways, let's show what they look like. In case people are wondering what ladyfingers look like. They're like a nice...
It's like a cookie.
Yeah, they're like a nice...
They're very airy.
Yeah, very, very light. They got like a little bit of sugar on the top here. They're very, very delicate. Hence the reason why they're called ladyfingers. So what we're going to do, Ma, if you want, you're going to dip them in here. Go ahead, because I can't show them. No, you don't need to put anything on the bottom. So what we're going to do is dip them in the espresso.
But you do very quickly.
Very quickly, because if you leave them in there for too long, they will get soggy and they will start to get really screwed up. So what we want to do is just dip them in here, and then we're going to place them in our pan over here. And they call, this recipe actually calls for I want to say 24 ladyfingers, because it's going to make 2 layers, but I think we have way more than 24. Well, actually, I don't know, but yeah, so if you have, these are the harder ones you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the more delicate ones, the softer ones, yeah, even less time. You just dump them in.
They're almost like the ones that you buy that are softer. They're almost like like a sponge cake.
Yeah,
that's what I want to say.
You know what these kind of remind me of? I don't know if you guys ever eaten those vanilla loaf cookies, those Vienna cookies. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, with the ones with the cream in the middle? That's what they kind of remind me of. I've never actually eaten ladyfingers just by themselves. But
they usually make a lot of desserts with them.
Yeah, they're very good.
Kind of cream, things that have cream
Yeah.
in them, because once you put it with the cream, they soften up and end up being the crust.
And so what's gonna happen with this is we're gonna make this thing, and then you're gonna have to put it in the fridge for a few hours and let it sit up to 2 hours after it's all said and done. Hell, if you want to let those soak just a few, like another couple of seconds more, that's fine. But as you can see, they're really absorbing the espresso, because they're really, I don't know, they're sort of dry. They're kind of dry, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, I've never actually eaten a ladyfinger by itself. I've usually just eaten it in tiramisu. So, and here we go. We got the first layer done. Now what we want to do is we're going to take that delicious cream over there that we made, and we're going to place about half of it, because this is supposed to make 2 layers, although this might make 2.5 or something. You're going to put about half of it on, and then we're going to spread it all around. Now this is also another great dish to make. Maybe wish we had an offset spatula, but whatever. Anyways, this is a great recipe to make maybe like the day before, because this is one of those recipes that tastes better with age. You know what? It's like a fine wine. Like the longer that you keep it in the fridge, the better it's going to taste. Like the next day. Yeah, all the flavors of everything. You could actually add a little bit more if you want. Don't be stingy with this. And then at the end, we're going to add some bittersweet chocolate on the top. We're going to make it all fancy schmancy. But yeah, so this is basically all you gotta do. Now you probably can make 2, maybe 3 layers, depending on how many ladyfingers you got. And let's say that
you could also make it in a smaller pan if you wanted.
Yeah. And let's say that you know for some reason one of the ladyfingers doesn't fit. Always just break in half, and like over here or something if you needed to. So what we're gonna do is just continue to do this, and when we come back, we'll show you what it looks like before we throw it in the fridge. Alright, we are back, and look at our 3 3/4 layer of tiramisu, doesn't it? 2 and 3/4. I'm an idiot. Anyways, doesn't it look delicious? Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, man, I'd love to eat this right now. But no, we have to wait at least 2 hours before we do.
Right, and as Pete said, actually, if you make it the day before and let it stay overnight, it's even better.
Yeah, it's going to be even better.
This is one of the desserts. There's a few like that. The longer you leave it to set, and remember when we talked about our lasagna, the longer that you leave it, where all the different flavors melt together, the better.
So what we want to do is just put some saran or whatever with plastic wrap, and we're going to throw it in the fridge. And then when we're done, we're going to garnish it with a little bit of shaved
cocoa powder, and
there's no cocoa powder.
Or you can do shaved.
Listen, me and my sister are having an argument right now about whose tiramisu is better. And I told her once she tastes mine, she won't go back to hers. But yeah, so that's it. So we'll put it in the fridge for 2 hours, and then we'll take it out and we'll taste it. All right, we're back. And here's what the tiramisu looks like. My mom started taking some shavings from her chocolate, we're going to use some semi-sweet chocolate. My mom is just going to shave that there.
Any kind of chocolate bar that you have.
Chocolate powder. This is after 3 hours, by the way. You could let this sit a little longer, but we're going to chow down on it. Anyways, the thing my mom uses is a microplane. In case, you better pick that up. I was going to say, presentation on that.
I want to eat it.
Yeah, there you go. So anyways, you just want to shave a little bit of chocolate. You could use chocolate cocoa powder. Is cocoa powder usually semi-sweet? Or is there different types?
Yes.
Yeah, so you could also sprinkle it with cocoa powder. So, yeah, let's dig in, huh? Alright, let's take this bad boy out. So yeah, this is going to be delicious. 2.5, 2 3/4 layer of stuff. And like my mom says, the first piece is always the toughest to get out.
Sure is.
And look at that.
Now, I tried to cut it down in between the cookies so it's easier where they were.
Look at that. Look how beautiful it looks. Alright, so here's our tiramisu. Doesn't it look delicious? With our chocolate shavings and our ladyfingers and our delicious Marscapone cheese. Let's take a bite.
When you're making a presentation, you could also put a little powdered sugar around the bottom of the plate.
That was very good.
And remember, the longer it sits, the better it'll be. So tomorrow it'll even be better.
Yeah, it's actually pretty soft right now, but it will get softer and really, really delicious. But you can taste the mascarpone, a lot of espresso to pick you up, just like tiramisu is supposed to do. So this is a delicious meal here in
dessert.
Dessert, yeah. Well, I mean, you can be whatever. I mean, you could eat this if you want whenever. But yeah, so this has been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
This has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating.
I will.